Disclaimer. What you are about to listen to is a random woman from the internet yap on and on about the most random shit happening in her life, while frequently changing topics mid-sentence. Does she ever have good advice? Occasionally. Is she funny? She likes to think so. So if you don't happen to have an autistic friend with a dash of depression and a scoopful of ADHD, congratulations, you are about to know what your FaceTime sessions would be like.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Messy Depressy podcast. I have now owned this microphone for over 3 years, and I have tried to start this podcast over 3 times now because I know that there is going to be people saying, oh, she's just starting this because everybody and their mother is. First of all, not that I need to explain this to anybody, but I have had a dream of being a journalist, being a writer, being a podcaster, probably since I was like 8, before I feel like it even really became a trend or started to be a trendy thing. I know that a lot of kids my age had like a dream to kind of be an influencer or be famous in some capacity. I don't want to be famous. I want my words to be famous. First of all, that's the difference with me. Second of all, I have kind of let that mentality of people are going to attack me for this and think I'm stupid and think I'm dumb or think that I'm just trying to get an easy career or yada, 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 so on and so forth. I think that I've been letting that scare me into me just not doing what I want to fucking do in life. And to be honest, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of letting what other people think of me control my life, which I know is something that is a me problem, that I have been doing that. But also I do think that the world could be a little bit nicer to other people. I think we are getting way too mean towards other people, which is funny because I think our words and what we say and our on the surface beliefs say that we are super welcoming people and we love and care about all. It's kind of like the city of Chicago. I recently moved to Chicago. I feel like I should stop saying recently, but it's been less than a year. Once I reach a full year in Chicago, which is actually only 3 weeks away, which is actually kind of crazy. Once I reach a full year in Chicago, I'll stop saying that I recently moved to Chicago. But until then, I recently moved to Chicago. And this is how I explain it to people. Everyone here is nice. Everyone here is super nice. They're super friendly. I would say that they're welcoming. But it comes with strings. They're not nice here because they're nice here. They're nice here to your face. They're nice here for a 3-minute conversation, but they're not, at least 90% of the people that I've met don't really give a flying F about making genuine human connections with people. Should we talk about that today, or should that be a whole nother topic? That's not what I was planning on talking about today. I had a whole plan and then I did it. I remember. My whole plan was that I am a 26-year-old woman, soon to be 27. I have tried to start this for many years now. I am so tired of A, not living my life, and B, having thoughts about just the world around me and what is going on, and just like with general empathy with other people and human interactions with each other. I used to journal about these kinds of things and write about them for hours upon hours upon hours growing up, because it just, when God made me, that is like the one thing that he made me so passionate about, is not even just how I care about and treat others in this world, but about how other people care about and treat other people in this world, and the kind of morals and values and different morals and values that people have, and kind of getting interested in them and not even like trying to debate them. I'm not trying to debate anyone here, like cause any stir up or cause any issues, but just create a channel for genuine conversation. Not even just sharing my thoughts and opinions, which I feel like is what a lot of people do, but just genuinely being able to create channels for open and honest communication. There's so many different kinds of people that live on this planet, and we are all so incredibly unique, even though I get on TikTok sometimes and I'm like, wow, I've never had a unique thought in my entire life. I've never had a unique experience, which it can be about like the most trivial things in the entire world. Like, for example, when I was married, When I was married, I would always get in fights with my husband about cleaning the toilet seat, because when you pull up the toilet seat, there was always yellow on the bottom of the toilet seat, and we would fight and argue for hours about who was responsible for it, because that's who should have to clean it, which, that is so wrong to begin with. When you're married, it really shouldn't effing matter. Just somebody in the household do it, because it's not that deep, and you guys both live in the house, both use the house. However, I was always to blame for it. Suddenly, when I left the loser and I lived on my own, that issue has never once reappeared in my life. Yet I was gaslit and told that it was me. It was because of me. I was responsible for it. So therefore, I had to clean the toilet multiple times a week. I thought that was a unique experience. No, I posted that on TikTok, and hundreds of other girls had the exact same experience before. So while we all are very unique, I also think that we're not when it comes down to it. And I personally, I feel like I'm getting very off topic here. I personally believe that the three things that people come down to in this planet, that what they're trying to find, is love, hope, and purpose. They're trying to find some kind of purpose for themselves. They want to feel love and also want to, I think, give love in whatever capacity that is. And they're trying to find some kind of hope. I am kidding, so far off topic. I was going to use this whole episode to kind of introduce myself. I don't even know if I've said that yet. Hello, everybody. I'm Jess. It's just Jess. Nothing more, nothing less, just Jess. That is so absolutely annoying, and I sound like Dr. Seuss, and I am fully aware of that, and I am actually extremely annoyed by myself by saying that. And I didn't I didn't plan that, my guys. I promise you. Fingers crossed, hand on the Bible, promise you that I did not practice that. Anyway, I am just Jess. Again, nothing more, nothing less. I am just a girl who honestly has no idea what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I just keep thinking of that meme. I think it's from Pride and Prejudice. I don't know. It's a sound on TikTok where it's like, I'm 27. I have no prospects. I have no career. I have no goals, and I'm scared. That's me. I fear that's me. I'm only 26, soon to be 27. And although I'm 26, I'm living in my 27th year of life, because when it's your birthday, it's not you starting the year, it's completing a year. So I'm currently 26, living in year 27. On my 27th birthday will be the end of my 27th year, and then we start year 28. I don't want to think about that, because I feel like the day that I realized that, it took a year off my life, guys. And I spiraled and I crashed out. Just wait till the year I turn 29, like the day I turn 29, so then I know the next day after that, even though I'm 29, it starts my 30th year of life. People don't normally crash out to the day they turn 30. I'm going to crash out the day after I turn 29. And I am so sorry if I just made you aware to that concept for the first time. And I sincerely apologize if you crash out the same way I did. But you know what? Completely valid. But going back, I'm Jess. I have had a life. Let's just say that as my dad says, I have lived a lot of life for somebody my age. I think I have lived more life than a lot of people that are older than me. I want to say like 40-year-olds, but some people I meet like 32, 33, and I've been married, I've been divorced, I technically owned a house, even though my name was never put on it, which I could do a whole episode on how women should protect themselves going into a marriage. Women always, 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 always get a prenup. Never, 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 never go into a marriage without a prenup. Never. I don't care if he has everything and you have nothing. You will be deciding on what happens if the marriage dissolves before you enter the marriage. And it's not so that he can protect all of his assets or you can protect all of your assets. It's so that you can agree on how things will best be split equally while you still love each other. If, I'm saying if because I hope it doesn't. I'm still a proponent for love no matter what. If the marriage dissolves. I could go on a whole podcast episode about just that and the importance of prenups and the importance of having at least those conversations before you get into a marriage and at least getting it written down somehow and notarized and officiated by a judge or whatever. And something that you could take into a law of court to fight against somebody. Anyway, I have been married. I have been divorced. I have technically owned a house. I have a dog. I moved 4 times in 1 year because I lost my job twice for very unethical reasons. That's just within the past 2 years. Oh my God, that's literally just within the past 2 years. Before that, the year before that, I was diagnosed with mental illness for the first time. I was diagnosed with a very long list. Actually, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, OCD, autism. I feel like there's the last one. Depression, anxiety, OCD, autism. Honestly, I've kind of forgotten. ADHD. I've kind of forgotten what they are because I feel like I have came so far from that little 24-year-old that was sitting in a psychiatrist office getting all of her diagnoses for the first time in her life. And I've like dissociated myself from all of that. Actually, I feel like I've dissociated myself from like my whole life. Like when I'm at bars, maybe this is why people say that I'm too depressed to be friends with them. But it's because I talk about my past in a way that's so subjective and objective. I really don't care about talking about it because we'll be at the bar and someone will be like, oh, like, tell me about yourself. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I was married and then I got divorced and then I lost 2 jobs for unethical reasons because both of my managers were harassing me. And then the other one, my coworker made a very inappropriate comment about drugging women at bars, but I was the one who got fired because of it. So I was forced to move. I found a new job. I ended up in Chicago. I met a new guy, not so great of a guy, cheated on me, met another guy. That's turned into a toxic situationship that we're just not going to talk about as of current. And then I had something happen, which we are also not going to talk about because that was way too traumatic and too soon to talk about and discuss on this podcast. And so all of that has happened to me. But anyway, my favorite pasta is rigatoni. And they will be like, what the fuck? But to me, saying those things, I don't know. I feel like I've just dissociated my identity from them so much. I just talk about it as fact. Like our United States history. We had a fucking fight in a war to be able to call ourselves an independent country. It's not the greatest of stories, but it's history and it's fact. And you can just talk about it, I think, objectively. I mean, like, everyone knows that it's a fact. So I feel like that's how I kind of treat my past, if that makes any sense. And same with my diagnosis. So I think I have like, they're not my identity anymore. And when I was first diagnosed with them, I wasn't in shock, but it made so much sense to me. I was like, oh, this is why I am the way I am. And this is why I struggled so much throughout my childhood, which I can also do an entire episode kind of going deeper on this. This is supposed to be just like a high-level introductory episode, and I think it's turning into a little bit of chaos. It's turning into a little bit of chaos. Either way, and at this point, I just like don't give a fuck. I don't know. I am to the point in my life where I just genuinely don't give a flying rat's end about anything, but at the same time, I give a rat's end about a lot of things, if I'm being really honest with myself, because I cry a lot, and a lot of things make me very emotional, because I'm a very emotional person, especially the state of the world and how other people and other humans treat each other. Not just me, others. It makes me mad, it boils my blood. But as far as being judged, I feel like I have gotten over that. I guess that's what I'm saying. And my identity. And I'm just trying my best to live on a horrible planet with horrible people. Not everybody is. I would say about 90% of the humans on this earth. I'm not getting into that any further as of right now. I promised my best friend that at least for this first episode, I wasn't going to be controversial. So maybe we save that. However, I care about things, but I also care about things less at the same time. I actually, to sum up the last 5 minutes of me yapping, I would say that my priorities for what I have cared about change over time. Of course they do. I mean, when I was 4, I used to care about if my crayons were pointy. What the fuck, Jess? Like, that is not anything profound to say. I'm not trying to say anything profound. I'm quite literally just coming on here and yapping my brains out because I want to. I don't care if I get famous. It'd be nice. I don't care if I get famous. I don't care if I become this extremely well-off influencer. First of all, I don't want to be an influencer. That disgusts me. I would like anything less than that. What I really just want to do is I want to be a journalist. And this is probably not sounding anything remotely to like groundbreaking journaling right now. I have kind of been making zero sense. I'm aware of that, but everybody has to start somewhere. So you know what? Just let me start. And be nice. I don't know, or don't. I don't also really care. But I mean, I would prefer if you be nice. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not trying to be profound. I'm not trying to change anyone's life on here. If you like yappy, autistic girls with a dash of ADHD and a little sprinkle of depression, that's me. Hi. Hello. Welcome. My name is Jess, and we will be best friends. Like I said, I'm just Jess. I'm nothing more. I'm nothing less. And I was actually in Portugal last year, and I was solo traveling, so I was out to dinner with a bunch of random people that I met. And one guy was like, why do you introduce yourself as just Jess? Like, it's diminishing to you. Like, you're so much more than Jess. And I was like, no, I'm not saying that I'm anything less than Jess, because I'm still figuring out who I am. And you know what? I might never figure out for the rest of my life. I think I could figure it out next week, and I have like a really good grasp about who Jess is. And the week after that, I could be like, you know what? I actually don't fucking know anymore. I have absolutely no idea. Your life can change in an absolute instant. And that is, I can also get into this later, but it bugs me when people are like, oh, I'm just not ready for this to happen yet. I'm not ready. You may never be ready. You may never be ready for life to happen. You may never even know who you are. You might never stop chasing who you are. You might never stop, quote, trying to get your life together, as people say, well, I'm just trying to get my life together right now, and then once my life is together, blah, 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 blah. You may never have your life together. You might never know who you are. You might never have a true sense of identity. This is my favorite one, is when I'm single. People are like, oh, you should just really like learn how to be alone, and when you like decide that you love yourself and like you're okay with being alone. First of all, I love myself. I think I am the hottest thing since sliced bread, and I deserve the fucking world. I love myself. And I know that I do not need a man That does not stop the fact that I want a man, and that is completely different. But you know, when people are like, oh, you just have to like learn how to like accept yourself and accept being alone, that might never happen. I am actively working on it. I really am trying to, because it's true. I might never find a guy. I really wish that's not the case, but it's true. I can never find a guy. I don't know what the big guy upstairs has planned for me. So I'm trying to come to terms with accepting that, but it's also a struggle that I come to every single day. So there might never be an end goal for that. You really don't know. So here's an idea. Stop giving people definitive advice in life. Once you get your life together, this is going to happen. Once this happens for you, this is going to happen. Once you're okay with this or that, then maybe you'll actually find a boyfriend. Just shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm eating for breakfast tomorrow. Fuck, I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. This just got, whoa, I did not plan on this being that serious. However, you get my point. I am just Jess. I am who I am right now in this moment. I might wake up and feel a different way. My thoughts and opinions and desires can change at any point. My life can change at any point because of external factors, because of other things, because I decide I want it to. I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you what I like in this given moment, yes, and I can tell you that I love myself and I love waking up every single day and actually being able to find myself every single day and think about like my thoughts every single day and say, what kind of person do I want to be today? What do I want to focus on today? Which is why I'm making this podcast, which is why I am putting my story out there, because I think that there's too much self-help books out there. There's too many do life this way, do life that way. Here's my advice. Shut the fuck up. Like, let people just live life. And that is what I'm trying to do. And I want to share it, and I want to bring people along, and I want to start conversations about it. And take a breath, Jess. Oh my God. All right. I've been talking for 37 minutes. I feel like this is a good time to cut this off, because I will continue to yap and yap and yap and yap for hours. I actually do that to a point where almost every single one of my first dates lasts about 4 hours. Actually, not even dates. I have met coffee with multiple people, and we can sit there and talk for 5 hours. I could actually probably talk to a brick wall for 5 hours, which is basically what my podcast is just talking to nothing. I just pretend I'm talking to somebody, but really I'm just talking to my phone and a microphone. I'm talking to a camera and a microphone, and that is, I don't know if that's pathetic or not. I have friends. I promise. I have a social life. I promise. It's not very interesting, but it's there. With that, I'm officially cutting this off. If you listen to all of this, thank you. If you keep sticking around, I love you even more. And I think I'll talk to all of you guys next week. I love you all. Yeah, I don't know how to end these. Okay. Bye. I love you, and I will see you next week.